What if I told you that one of the most dangerous things you do every week happens not in a bar, not on a highway, not with any substance you would ever consider risky, but in your own kitchen, in the 60 seconds it takes to press a button on your microwave? And what if the reason you keep doing it is that it looks responsible? It looks practical. It looks like you are being smart with your food and your money and your time. I need you to sit with that for a moment, because what I am about to show you involves 5 foods that the majority of people reheat without a second thought, and what those foods chemically become the second time heat touches them is something that connects directly to one of the most lethal cancers in modern medicine. Pancreatic cancer, 5-year survival rate under 12%, 12, not because it is impossible to survive, but because by the time anyone feels something wrong, in the overwhelming majority of cases, it has already spread far beyond the point where medicine can do anything meaningful. I am telling you that number not to frighten you. I am telling you because your pancreas does not warn you while it is being damaged. It does not hurt. It does not swell. It does not send you any signal at all while the conditions for disaster are quietly building across months and years of habits you consider completely normal. If you want to protect yourself, subscribe to this channel and share this video before you even finish watching it, because someone in your life is probably reheating one of these foods tonight. Let me start with the one that is going to surprise you the most, because it is the food that the entire health world has been telling you to eat more of for the past 2 decades. Leafy greens, spinach, kale, chard, arugula. Picture this. You cook a beautiful pan of spinach on Sunday evening, deep green, perfectly wilted, garlic and olive oil. You feel genuinely good about yourself. You put the rest in a container. Monday afternoon, you microwave it for 90 seconds. It smells the same, it looks the same, it tastes the same. And during those 90 seconds, a chemical reaction has just completed that the World Health Organization links directly to cancer risk. Here is what happens. All leafy greens contain naturally occurring compounds called nitrates. Fresh and raw, they are completely harmless. But once you cook these vegetables and let them sit even in your refrigerator overnight, bacteria that are naturally present in the food begin converting those nitrates into something called nitrites, so far still manageable. But when you apply heat a second time, those nitrites react with amino acids in the food and produce compounds called nitrosamines. The International Agency for Research on Cancer classifies nitrosamines as probable human carcinogens, and they are genotoxic, meaning they enter the nucleus of your cells and damage the DNA itself, not from outside the cell, from inside the genetic machinery that tells your cells when to grow, when to stop, and when to die the way they are supposed to. When that code gets corrupted repeatedly, certain cells stop following instructions. They multiply when they should not. And your pancreas is called into the detoxification effort every single time these compounds enter your bloodstream, bathing in genotoxic material, week after week, while simultaneously being pushed into biochemical stress it was never designed to sustain indefinitely. The fix is straightforward. Eat your cooked leafy greens cold in a grain bowl, folded into a wrap, tossed in a salad. Every nutrient is still there, 0 nitrosamine formation, no second heat, no second reaction. If you genuinely need them warm, cook only what you are eating at that exact moment. And if you must reheat once, reheat. Once only. Each additional heating cycle multiplies the formation. That is not a figure of speech, that is chemistry. Now I want to talk about something sitting in almost every refrigerator right now. Something so basic, so ordinary, that the idea of it being dangerous sounds almost absurd. Leftover rice. You made a large batch because it is practical. You have been reheating portions of it over several days. Completely normal. Billions of people do this every single week, and hidden inside that rice, from the moment it stopped cooking and started cooling, a biological process began that most people go their entire lives never being warned about. There is a bacterium called Bacillus cereus. It is present in raw rice from any grocery store in any country in the world. Cooking kills the active bacteria, but it does not kill the spores. A spore is a hardened biological structure that certain bacteria produce specifically to survive conditions that would otherwise destroy them. Boiling water cannot eliminate them. Standard cooking temperatures cannot touch them. They sit dormant inside your perfectly cooked rice, completely invisible and completely undetectable by any smell or taste. The moment the temperature drops as the rice cools, which is exactly the temperature range of your kitchen counter, those spores activate, they multiply, they produce toxins, and one of those toxins is heat stable. When you microwave that rice the next day, you kill whatever live bacteria are present, but the toxin they already produced. While multiplying, your microwave does not touch it. It survives reheating completely intact and enters your body in full working order. The connection to your pancreas runs through what researchers call the gut-pancreas axis. Your gut and your pancreas share blood supply, lymphatic drainage, and inflammatory signaling pathways. Repeated low-level exposure to these toxins, often not dramatic enough to cause obvious food poisoning, just enough to keep your gut in a state of chronic low-grade inflammation, sends those signals directly to your pancreas every time, without exception. The rules are simple and they matter enormously. Cool cooked rice within 1 hour of cooking. Spread it flat and shallow. More surface area means faster cooling, less time for spores to activate. Eat it within 24 hours. When you do reheat it, make sure it is steaming hot all the way through, and once you have reheated it, finish it completely. Do not refrigerate it again. Here is one that nearly every family puts on the table multiple times a week. And the danger lives not in the food itself, but in one very specific feature of the most common reheating method people use. Chicken, leftover roasted or cooked chicken, reheated in the microwave. You pull the pieces out of the fridge, place them on a plate, run the microwave for 2 minutes, touch the outside, it is hot, and you eat. Completely normal. Millions of households do exactly this every single day. And what almost no one understands about microwave reheating is that it does not apply heat the way an oven does. A microwave excites water molecules inside the food to generate heat, but different sections of the same piece of chicken have different water content, different fat distribution, different density. Some parts reach temperatures that eliminate bacteria. Other parts, sometimes just centimeters away, remain at exactly the temperature where dangerous bacteria not only survive but actively multiply. These are called cold spots. You cannot see them. You cannot detect them by touching the outside of the food. The surface can be burning hot while the interior sits at a temperature that functions more like an incubator than a kill zone. Two bacteria make this specifically dangerous with chicken: Salmonella and Campylobacter, both present in raw poultry at very high rates. Proper initial cooking destroys them, but recontamination after cooking from hands, countertops, utensils is entirely possible, and those cold spots in your microwave reheated chicken create warm, moist, protein-rich environments where any surviving bacteria thrive. Repeated exposure, not always enough to produce dramatic illness, but enough to keep your gut inflamed, pulls your pancreas into a chronic inflammatory response it was never designed to sustain. Over years, that sustained pressure matters. If you are going to reheat chicken, use the oven. Cover it tightly with foil at 175 degrees Celsius for 15 to 20 minutes. The trapped, even heat reaches every part of the food uniformly. No cold spots, or cut the chicken into small uniform pieces before microwaving. Use medium power, stop and rearrange everything halfway through and let it rest covered for a full 2 minutes after heating. Better yet, eat it cold. Cold chicken shredded into a salad eliminates every single risk we just discussed. Now let's talk about the food that carries not one but two completely separate chemical dangers, two distinct attacks on your pancreas happening simultaneously from a single bowl of leftovers: potatoes. specifically roasted or fried potatoes reheated a second time. The first danger involves a compound called acrylamide. The International Agency for Research on Cancer classifies it as a probable human carcinogen. It forms when starchy foods are exposed to temperatures above approximately 120 degrees Celsius. That golden color on a perfectly roasted potato, the crispiness those come from. A process called the Maillard reaction, and acrylamide forms as a direct byproduct of that same process. Here is what makes reheated potatoes specifically more concerning than freshly cooked ones. When a potato is cooked and then refrigerated, its surface dries out. Sugars and amino acids concentrate at that dry, cooled surface. When you apply high heat a second time, the conditions for acrylamide formation are more favorable than they were during the first cooking. You may be producing a meaningfully higher carcinogen load from the reheated potato than from the original meal. That is the first attack: direct carcinogenic compounds reaching your pancreatic cells. The second attack works differently and builds over time in a way that is even easier to overlook. When a potato is cooked and then cooled completely in the refrigerator, part of its regular starch converts into something called resistant starch. Resistant starch is genuinely beneficial. It moderates blood sugar, slows glucose absorption, and feeds beneficial gut bacteria. A cold-cooked potato is metabolically a different food than a hot one. The moment you reheat that potato at high heat, that resistant starch converts back into regular, rapidly digested starch. The beneficial transformation is destroyed in 90 seconds. And what was gentle on your blood sugar is now a spike. Your pancreas, specifically the beta cells that produce insulin, is forced into a sudden, urgent release. Once completely manageable, 3 times a week, every week, for years, those beta cells are repeatedly driven into emergency production. They exhaust, they become less responsive. Progressive beta cell exhaustion is a documented pathway toward the chronic conditions that precede pancreatic cancer. 2 attacks at the same time, every single time. The solution is to eat cooked potatoes cold whenever you can. Cold potato salad with good olive oil and fresh herbs keeps every gram of resistant starch intact and eliminates additional acrylamide production entirely. If you need them warm, use the lowest heat that simply takes the chill off. Warm, not hot, and never refry an already cooked potato in oil. That stacks every risk we have discussed into one dish. Which brings me to the food I want to address last, and the one that connects everything we have covered today into a single principle you need to carry with you permanently. Fried food. Yesterday's fries, leftover fried chicken, a spring roll from last night, anything that was cooked in oil and then stored. When you reheat these in oil or even in fresh oil, thinking you are doing something different, here is what actually happens. Cooking oils that most people keep on their kitchen shelves: sunflower oil, corn oil, soybean oil, vegetable oil, are chemically unstable under heat. The first time you heat them, some breakdown occurs. The second time, the damage accelerates dramatically. This process generates a class of toxic compounds called aldehydes, particularly compounds that research has linked directly to cellular DNA damage. These compounds behave like a cascade of uncontrolled sparks landing on your healthy cells, including the DNA code that tells each cell how to behave. When that code is corrupted repeatedly, certain cells stop following instructions, and when your body mounts an inflammatory response to manage this assault, which it does every single time, and that response never fully resolves because the exposures keep coming, your pancreas is operating inside a sustained chemical conflict it was not built to survive indefinitely. The rules are absolute here. Never reheat fried food in oil, not fresh oil, not the same oil. Use a dry oven at 180 degrees or an air fryer. Dry heat restores texture without generating additional toxic compounds, and cooking oil should be treated as single use. Use it once, discard it. That habit alone removes one of the most consistent sources of oxidative damage from your regular diet. Before I let you go, I need to say one more thing, and I mean this genuinely. If you have been doing all 5 of these things for years, it is not too late. The human body has a capacity for recovery that after decades in medicine still humbles me. Chronic inflammation can come down. Cells that have been stressed get replaced by new ones constantly. The conditions we discussed are not a final verdict, they are information, and every different choice you make from this moment forward moves the situation in a better direction. What I am asking you to take out of here today is not anxiety. Anxiety without direction accomplishes nothing. What I am asking you to take is one specific, practical change you can make tonight when you open your refrigerator. Leafy greens, eat them cold or cook only what you are eating right now. Rice, cool it fast, eat it within 24 hours, reheat it once and finish it completely. Chicken oven or cold, never microwave and assume the inside matches the outside. Potatoes cold when possible, low heat when not, never refried. Fried food dry heat only, and treat oil as single use. Your pancreas has been working for you every single day of your life without asking for anything in return. It has never taken a day off, never sent you a complaint, never given you a reason to think about it until the moment when it is far too late. Start giving it something back, starting tonight. If this gave you something real, if it changed how you will open your refrigerator from here forward, think of one person right now. Your mother, your partner, your closest friend, someone who reheats rice every week and has never heard a single word of this. Send them this video, not tomorrow, right now. That might genuinely be the most important thing you do today. Subscribe to this channel if you are not already here. Every week I bring you information like this, the kind I wish every patient had before they ever ended up sitting across from me with a diagnosis that did not have to happen. Take care of yourselves. I will see you in the next one.